My name's Tony Rinaudo and I'm the Principal Climate Action Advisor for World Vision Australia. So in the 1980s and 90s I lived in West Africa, and what had been biodiverse dryland forest, by the time we arrived there in 1981, it had pretty much all been cleared. So during our time there we worked with local communities and we built on what's actually a traditional method of tree restoration, and through that work some 6 million hectares of formerly almost treeless land is now reforested. It's still farmland, but it has more than 200 million trees growing on what had been barren land. When I was a boy, I grew up in a beautiful part of Victoria, and the hills directly behind our home, that was my playground. So we used to climb the trees and wander over the hills. We used to fish in the mountain streams, and it was a very idyllic place to grow up in. So while we're having a wonderful life in Australia, I realised that children just like me, who through no fault of their own happened to be born elsewhere, but they were going to bed hungry. And I was also very aware that bushland that I loved so much was being bulldozed, and steep hills would be left bare, so there'd be erosion, loss of biodiversity and so on. It just didn't add up to me. So I think as a boy I was very angry but frustrated because I didn't know how to change things, and I did the one thing that I felt I did have power over. I shut up a prayer simply asking God, please use me somewhere, somehow to make a difference. And I trace what I do today, who I am today, back to that prayer. There's so many reasons. If you look at Genesis chapter 2 verse 15, where God put Adam into the Garden of Eden and commanded him to work it, something that we're all very good at, work it for our own benefit. But the second part of the commandment we often forget, to take care of it. We're actually commanded to be good stewards of the environment. We can still benefit, we can still use it, but we're commanded to take care of it. Secondly, we take care of creation out of love for our neighbour, with the knowledge that environmental destruction, human-induced climate change, is exacerbating disasters, causing droughts and floods and making it more and more difficult for people to farm, to make a living. With that knowledge, as Christians we should be in the forefront of not only preventing environmental destruction, we should be at the forefront of restoration as well. And if I could give a third reason, creation belongs to the one whom we call Lord, the one whom we love and obey. And if creation is important to God, so important that He created such a beautiful, functional, intricate environment, then what should it mean to us? And I think if it's important to God, as Christians, it certainly should be important to us. I see this, I get the opportunity to speak in many places around the world, and it's very sad so many young people are despairing and even have given up hope because of the imminence of climate change. And I would point to that story about what happened in West Africa. If anything, that was an impossible story. The success that happened there, of all places, should never have happened if you just went on normal logics. Poorest country in the world, extremely harsh environment on the edge of the Sahara Desert. At that time, no government support to make those things happen. It was simply an answer to prayer. And if God can work miracles in an impossible situation like that, where even the experts had written it off, then nothing's impossible for fighting climate change. And I'd really like to encourage you. There's a lovely quote from Augustine of Hippo, so one of our famous saints, and he wrote, "Hope has two beautiful daughters, and their names are anger and courage." Anger at the way things are. We have every right to be angry at what's happening to our world, what humanity has done to God's creation. And certainly for me as a boy, I was angry at the destruction that I was seeing. But the name of the second daughter is courage. Courage to not leave things the way they are, but to get up and do something about it. And this is my message. Don't expect hope to magically fall out of the sky and land on a favoured few. You make hope happen by your actions. You can make a difference. It might not be a tree thing, the way trees are my thing, but God's given everyone their own gifts and an opportunity to do something. If you want to feel hopeful for the future, act on those gifts that God's given you.